Time away from your 9 to 5 environment allows for better reflection. And reflecting exactly on what serves you and what doesn't is exactly how you can drastically improve your productivity. Hello everyone, Jack here, and welcome back to another episode of the Study With Me video series, where as always, we are dedicating that daily deep work to the person we want to be in the future. But before we get into that, I wanted to quickly talk about how recently I've discovered a productivity hack involving holidays. Now, I recently went on a holiday to Noosa for 3 nights, which heading into, I was actually not so keen on because 1, disrupted my schedule a bit. 2, I had work I needed to do during that period that I would have had to reschedule. And 3, it was just a bit inconvenient. But after going on this holiday and being back here now and reflecting on it, I really enjoyed it. And I actually really enjoyed the opportunity to actually sit down and reflect on my life in an entirely external environment. So that got me thinking, how can I actually break down this belief into something that I can kind of improve in my life going forward? Now, the culture of high performers essentially is that you should dedicate every single working hour of your day to work or something that you would build across time to, I guess, attribute to your future self. And generally, this is something that I've adhered to over my time. So whether that being a good or bad thing, it's resulted in me creating a life that I'm pretty proud and happy to be living, but it's also resulted in me neglecting other elements of my life that don't attribute to my future self, if you will. But along my journey, what I have learned to implement is these kinds of periodic reflection where, say, every month or every week, I will quite literally reflect on everything I've done that week. And it's worked pretty well in a way that, say I'm traveling along a linear line going up, if I'm not following that line exactly and veering off, that weekly reflection says, okay, is that helping me? Okay, I'll crank that line back up. And then I can, on average, aim to kind of follow that line. So that kind of reflection is the process I've implemented to enable me to basically say, okay, is what I'm doing correct? If yes, keep doing it. If not, change it. However, with my recent trip away, I think I've discovered how I can take this reflection process to the next level with something that everyone loves, that being holidays. So you're probably thinking, Jack, holidays, how can they actually help you be more productive? And that is exactly the perspective I had before I went on this holiday. Now, holidays provide the means for you to quite literally zoom out and reflect on your entire life. And putting the question to yourself, are the stresses I'm putting myself through on a day-to-day basis actually serving the person I want to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Are they aligned with my goal? Quite literally, you can get a pen and paper out and write down how you're spending your time and think, okay, if this is serving me, if yes, we keep, because it's serving you in the long run. And although it may stress you in the short term, in the long term, it's going to be bettering your life now. And it's a bit of a conundrum where easy now, hard later, or hard now, easy later. And while I'm young and fit and healthy, I'm choosing hard now, easy later. But if those things aren't serving us, we can easily put a line through them and remove them. Because although it may be painful to remove them in the short term, it will be better for you later. Now, here it's important to think that things like a 9 to 5 job that may not be aligned with your goals long term, but does provide means for income generation. Now, things like that is something may not serve you, but the income serves you in the short term. So it's important here to classify what you can easily remove and what you rely on and want to remove but can't yet, and maybe set a time frame for when you're going to remove it. That might be an efficient strategy. So another question you probably have is, why do I actually have to be on holiday to execute this level of reflection? And that's a very good question, but I would argue that this level of reflection is much easier to execute in an entirely external new environment, as you have literally removed yourself from any external influence that may influence how you are thinking or how you approach a situation. Now, allocating 2 to 3 hours of your holiday time to this kind of reflection is a very effective way to do two things. One is coming to terms with yourself and your ambitions going forward, where you're enabling your high productivity by removing the things that aren't serving you. And the second thing is to enjoy some time away with whoever you choose to spend it with. Something that you may miss out on or deprioritize while you're in your busy life at home. Now, in saying this stuff about holidays, I do believe that these aren't the only way you can perform this kind of external reflection. I think it's important here to try and find some sort of new environment to you, some sort of new thing. So whether this is a day to the beach you've never been to, or a day hiking in the rainforest, something like that, being in that new environment really puts your brain in kind of a fresh state where you're not focusing on anything you're used to, and you can purely look at how you're spending your time objectively. And looking at your actions and how you spend your time objectively is exactly what we're looking at when we're trying to refine where we're spending our time. So overall, the real key here is that productivity is quite literally defined as the amount of output versus the amount of input for that output. If you're contributing inputs that don't compound towards an output that is your desired output, then you're not being productive. Being able to go away and objectively look at, okay, how am I spending my time? How am I grading my inputs? And remove the inputs that aren't contributing to your desired outcome, and replacing that time with tasks that contribute to your desired outcome, you are increasing your productivity tenfold, depending on how much you remove. So this kind of external reflection is exactly what you need to increase your productivity. If you guys are still listening after that, I really appreciate it, and I hope that life lesson that I uncovered in myself helps you guys going forward, and implementing a process that I'm going to in my life will help you going forward also. But for now, it's time for me to get into my study. Today I'm working on a prac for one of my uni courses. But yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the time lapse. And that's all she wrote for my SD card today. We've only got 10 minutes left, so figured I'd do this outro real quick. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on how to improve productivity through holidays. I think getting out of your comfortable environment is absolutely key for being able to reflect objectively and not be biased towards your current mood or living conditions. It's purely an external environment, and I think an important quote here is that if you listen to the advice you gave to other people, you'll be a much better person yourself, because we tend to give better advice than we actually follow ourselves. And I'm a victim of that myself. I sometimes give better advice that I maybe need to follow, but yeah, being able to look at yourself objectively is the best way to assess really what you need to cut out, which will only allow you to be more productive. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd much appreciate you guys letting me know down below. Let me know if you like these study videos, if you are watching to the end, and yeah, Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you enjoyed it and want to see a similar video on the channel, click right here to see the next video in the playlist. Otherwise, for the latest upload to the channel, click right here. As always, it's a great day to have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.